Well, I thought about for the sermon today of getting a stack of fake bills and just throwing bills out at everybody, but I figured y'all would probably clamor and try to get them all thinking they were real, so I decided not to do that. Then I thought I'd do the Oprah Winfrey approach, and you get 100, you get 100, you get 100. Well, I'm poor and I can't do that. So we'll just talk about money today. This Sunday and next Sunday, we're going to talk about where we need to be, I guess, to be in a good Thanksgiving mood, to have the right spirit for Thanksgiving. We live in a society that is very affluent, where there's a lot of people that have. Of course, there's a lot that have not, right? We live in a society full of affluence. And I found this graphic on the internet. It's, I think it kind of sums up affluence. You got the hands up there trying to grab the money. There's money everywhere. And many of us are better off than we were years ago. Or, me growing up especially, my kids are doing way better than I ever did as a kid. So we do live in a bit of an affluent society, but we've got a problem in our society today. We have a disease. You know what it is? Affluenza. You've heard of affluenza? I came across this term. There's a Methodist minister out in the Midwest by the name of Adam Hamilton. I think he writes a book like every 6 months. But he defined affluenza as this. Definition number 1. The bloated, sluggish, and unfulfilled feeling that results from efforts to keep up with the Joneses. Definition number 2. An epidemic of stress, overwork, waste, and indebtedness caused by a dogged pursuit of the American dream. Definition number 3. An unsustainable addiction to economic growth. That sounds like America, doesn't it? Many of us try to work ourselves to death to keep up with the Joneses. In fact, there's been some maligning of the millennials and Generation Z. Generations, well, you need to get you a job. Well, the sad thing is many of them work too many jobs, just not one full-time job. We live in a society that has this disease, and we want more. We want the nicest and latest things. We want more. We rack up credit card debt to have more. We overwork ourselves to have more. We rent storage lockers and storage buildings to have more, to put more stuff. We have affluenza in this society today, don't we? And I'd like to say it's just outside the church walls that people have affluenza. We have affluenza inside the churches as well, don't we? The people who should know better, the people who know that only Jesus can satisfy, should know better. Let me give you a statistic here to show you a little bit about our society, and I'm sure many of us are this way. The National Home Builders Association in 1973 said the average American house was 1,660 square feet. In 2004, that went to 2,400 average square feet on average. And the sad thing is, even though we're building and getting bigger houses, we still run out of room. Come to my house, we got junk everywhere. You go out to our storage building, and we have junk everywhere as well. There's become a cottage industry of storage buildings and facilities to store things, because we Americans want more stuff, more things. We Christians, too, want more things. You see, the devil tells us to be a slave to debt and possessions. And if his slaves, if we're his slaves, we can't accomplish what God wants us to do. We need to worry about affluenza, not only in our society, but in the church walls as well. As we come up on this Thanksgiving season, as we think about thankfulness to God, we must realize that we have a disease. And we truly can't be thankful to God until we look at this disease. Let's talk about the symptoms of this disease. How does this disease manifest itself? Well, I think Ecclesiastes 5:10 gives us a little bit of insight of what are the symptoms of this disease. Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. This too is meaningless. You know, the teacher, the writer of Ecclesiastes, possibly Solomon, was a little cynical in some ways, a little jaded maybe. I think he got this right. Whoever loves money never has enough. You know what I think of? I think that line from the writings of Paul to Timothy. You know, the love of money is the root of all evil. You ever thought about why that is? Because when you have money, you fall in love with it, you want more money. And more and more and more. And sometimes rules and ethics and morality go aside so you can get more and have more. And the money and the stuff become our God. You see, most of us, if not all of us, if we hadn't already got it filled, have a God-sized hole in our heart and in our life. And really the only thing that can fill that hole, that void in our life, that desire, is God. But sadly, many people take things and stuff and money and try to fill that hole, try to stave off the pain of the void just a little bit longer, but it doesn't work. You never can have enough stuff or never have enough money to fill that void in your life. You see, you never have enough money, and wealth can never really truly satisfy. You're always hungry for more. You know, my boys, I exposed them to a cartoon I loved watching when I was a kid. You know, the old Scrooge McDuck. You ever seen that Disney Scrooge McDuck? There was a cartoon that came out in the 80s, Scrooge McDuck. And I always remember this one opening scene of him just jumping like off a diving board into his big old pool of money and stuff. And, you know, as a kid, I didn't realize that would probably hurt if he had a bunch of coins and bills. It'd probably beat him to pieces. But he swimming through his money and spitting out the coins. He had so much money. But you know what? Scrooge McDuck always wanted more, didn't he? He had the disease of affluenza. And sadly, like I said, many in the church have this disease too. I'm not immune either. If there's a new gadget or doohickey, I've got to have it. I've got to have it. Even if I don't need it, I've got to have it. You see, we have this disease. There's some symptoms there. We know what the symptoms are. We try to fill our lives with the stuff, with the things, with the money. But how do we combat this affluenza? You know, the season of flu shots, you know, you get a flu shot, hopefully that'll stave off the flu if it's the right strain, right? But there's no shot, literal shot that you can take to stave off affluenza. But there are some antidotes. There are some antidotes. Matthew 16, 24 through 28 gives us some insight and some antidotes. In fact, verse 24 specifically gives us 3 antidotes to affluenza. It's not easy. It hurts. You ever taken a shot and just that needle just hurts? There's some people that can't take shots. Not naming any names. I know somebody in this room that can't take a shot. Doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel pleasant. Well, the antidote to affluenza isn't pleasant either. But it must be done. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves, take up their cross, and follow me." 3 easy things to do, right? You think. We're constantly in a struggle for the flesh to do and to be what God wants us to be. We've got the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder. Since I'm referencing old cartoons, Bugs Bunny cartoons, right? That's what it works in my mind. We're being pulled constantly with fleshly nature and what we know we need to do. What we need to do is deny ourselves. You see, Jesus doesn't ask his disciples to deny something. It's not denying money. It's not to deny stuff. It's denying one's self. And denying one's self-ambitious promoting. You see, discipleship isn't, and I love this line here. This is a quote here from David Garland, a commentator. Discipleship is not a part-time volunteer work that one does an extracurricular activity. You can't just occasionally deny yourself when you're good with God. This is a 24/7, 365, and in leap years 366 endeavor, denying oneself. This is not a pick and choose. This is something that must be done. As the great preacher Dietrich Bonhoeffer once wrote, to deny oneself is to beware only of Christ and no more of self. To see only Him who goes before and no more the road which is too hard for us. Once more, all that self-denial can say is, He leads the way, keep close to Him. That's hard, isn't it? If you're anything like me, you're a little selfish. As I said before, I think our society is very much of the mindset of Burger King. You know, Burger King's slogan, have things your way. I used to love going to Burger King before I realized that their food wasn't very good, at least in my opinion. And have a better burger down at the country kitchen. But you know, you get your burger however you want at Burger King. I used to love it, especially as a kid, and they'd mark on the label. I can get lettuce if I want to, I can get tomatoes if I want to, pickles if I want to. Of course, I didn't have chili and slaw, but you know, get to customize and have it your way. Right? We want things our way on our terms. But truly following God, truly being a disciple, truly being a Christian is not us, it's Him. Not what we want, but what He wants. He doesn't say deny the stuff, He says deny self. Because He knows the self wants that stuff, those things. Think about us. Think about us. Self-denial. Well, for the proud, self-denial means renouncing the desire for status and honor. For the greedy, self-denial means renouncing appetite for wealth. For the complacent, self-denial, the complacent will have to renounce the love of ease. For the faint-hearted, they'll have to abandon the craving for security. And for the violent, they'll have to repudiate the desire for revenge. That's self-denial. The things that hold us back from God, the things, the stuff, the emotions, the desires, it ain't about us, it's about Him. That ain't easy, is it? When society tells us one thing, to have it your way, do what you want to do, live and let live. When our fleshly nature is telling us, just give in, just go for it. It's fine, whatever you want to do. But it ain't about that, is it? It's about what God wants. As Bonhoeffer said, self-denial can say, all the self-denial can say is, He leads the way, keep close to Him. He leads the way, keep close to Him. That's self-denial. The second antidote is this, that we must take up the cross. Let me think about it this way. Practicing self-sacrificial acts. You know, we can say all the time that we deny ourselves, but do we show it? What do we do to show it? Jesus denied Himself by taking up the cross when we deserved the cross, when we should have been carrying that cross. He took it up and died for us. Gave Himself for us. You see, crucifixion wasn't something pleasant. The Roman writer Cicero described it as a cruel, disgusting penalty, the worst of extreme tortures inflicted on slaves, and something to be dreaded. You see, Jesus wants us to carry the cross. See, disciples must do more than survey the wondrous cross, as the hymn says. Disciples must do more than glory in the cross of Christ. I love the old rugged cross. We must carry it. We must become like Jesus and live the cross, putting Him before us. Him before us. And the third antidote, just simply the words, follow me. Follow me. Not follow the money. Not follow somebody else. Not follow the stuff. But follow me. You see, the image here is of the disciples coming, following after the Master, each carrying their own cross, their own burden, their own self-sacrificial symbol. You see, we don't need to wave a little cross. We need to live the cross. Instead of holding to our little crosses we may have and thinking of it as an idol, we need to wave. We don't need to wave it, we need to live it. We need to put our faith into action. Put our self-denial in action, following Him, carrying that cross all the way. Once we put ourselves to the side, once we deny ourselves, once we take up that cross and live out that denial, once we follow Him, putting things in action, this affluenza abates. But we have to make a daily decision every day, don't we? Affluenza is around every corner. It's contagious. But each and every day we must get up and make a decision to take up our cross and follow Him daily, deny ourselves, to keep the affluenza at bay. You know, luckily if you take a flu shot, it's good for the season. But with this affluenza shot, we must take it daily. We must take it daily. Why is that? For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it. There's a story in the Gospels about a man who had a bunch of crops and he wanted to build a bigger barn, bigger storehouses to store up his stuff. Didn't really do him any good in eternity, did it? We as humans, we want to build up bigger barns, bigger storage, to have more things, more stuff, to have more rental units, more storage units, if you will, to put more stuff. But it doesn't do us any good. There's nothing that we can have, we can possess, that will help us in the afterlife, will it? None of our things, none of our baubles, none of our possessions, our bank accounts, our 401ks, our pensions, none of that can save us in the end. We must lose our lives to save it. For what good will it be for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit his soul? I don't care how much money you have. I don't care if you buy your own private island in the Caribbean. If you don't know Jesus and you don't know the cross, it ain't doing you a bit of good. It ain't. It don't get you anywhere. Money cannot buy you happiness. Not lasting happiness. It might make you happy for a day. But that influenza sets in, doesn't it? I gotta have more. I gotta have more. I gotta have more stuff, more things. We can gain the whole world if we want to. Without Jesus Christ, it's all for naught. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, you're not going to find the hearse with the trailer hitch, are you? You can't take it with you. Only one thing in this life will do you any good, and that's kneeling at the cross and accepting Jesus Christ as your Savior. Giving up of yourself and taking Him on. There's nothing we can give in exchange for our souls. That's what that verse talks about. Nothing we can give. We can't buy our salvation. You know, the story goes, the lore goes, around the time of Martin Luther, the Roman Catholic Church was trying to build up the Sistine Chapel and build a nice basilica and, take care of things, and they needed money. So the selling of indulgences was a big practice. Indulgences essentially was a get out of purgatory free card, I guess you could say, or get out of jail free card, I guess, let's think monopoly terms. And there was one gentleman who went around Germany, or become Germany, Johann Tetzel, and he would just sell these indulgences, and the saying went is, when a soul in the coffer rings, a soul from purgatory springs. And Luther was sickened by that. We are saved by grace through faith. It's not of our works, lest any man should boast, as Paul wrote. We are saved by grace through faith. It's not of our works, lest any man should boast. It's about Him. We can't give anything. We can't buy an indulgence. We can't build a new wing on the church. Which, by the way, if you want to build a new wing on the church, I'm not going to object. But it ain't going to get you to heaven, okay? If you want to increase the pastor's salary, it ain't going to get you to heaven, but I ain't going to object, right? I joke. But it's true, isn't it? Nothing you can do can earn your salvation. Even living right and going to church ain't going to get you to heaven. It makes an outgrowth of following Jesus. For the Son of Man is going to come in His Father's glory with angels, and He will reward each person according to what they have done. Imagine all those people that that one day they're going to be caught off guard. One day when they've rested all their security in their possessions and their money and their wealth and their self, how they'll be caught off guard when Jesus comes back and they're all judged. How will they feel? They put their trust and faith in the wrong thing, not the right person. We'll all be judged one day. Doesn't matter how good we are, doesn't matter how bad we are. It just matters if we're covered in blood. If we follow, if we deny ourselves and take up Jesus. Not that we have a bunch of stuff, not that we have a bunch of things, not that we have storehouses busting at the seams. It just matters of Him. Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, the some who are standing here today will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in His kingdom." You see, the thing is, we could put off this affluenza for so long, put off a shot, the affluenza antidote. But you never know when the Lord may come. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next hour, maybe in a few minutes, maybe 20 years from now, 30 years, 100 years from now. We don't know. But we're told to be ready, aren't we? And don't put off Jesus another day longer. Don't put off getting right with Jesus another day longer. Because tomorrow's never promised, is it? It's never promised. So we need to get our affluenza antidote soon. We need to take up our cross and follow Him. I'm going to show a little video, and after the video we'll have an invitational hymn, and we'll have taps. But do you have affluenza? I think most of y'all probably don't. I don't know. You may have affluenza. You may not have a severe case of affluenza. You may have a bit of a dose of affluenza. But you need to get that taken care of. You don't go see a doctor to take care of affluenza. You go to the Maker. You go to the Savior. You go to the cross.